The story of Prophet Abraham, or Ibrahim, peace be upon him. Using golden mean ratio, Earth's center has been found to be Mecca, middle ground between the East and West, just like Abraham, peace be upon him, who was neither a rigid Jew nor a laxed Christian, but a balanced Muslim, original and best. Abraham, or Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was born in an ancient nation full of idol worship in modern-day Iraq called Babylon, where pagans bowed to man-made idols of all sorts and made celestial gods of the stars, the moon, and the sun. As a boy of uncorrupted faith, or fitrah, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, saw his father Azar carving idols out of wood. He watched the Babylonians bowing to useless statues and even trying to feed them as if they could. They worshipped idols knowing that they were unable to answer prayers or cause benefit or harm. They tried convincing Ibrahim, peace be upon him, it was fatherly tradition, but Allah would guide him towards Islam. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, told them that only the Creator could provide food and drink, cure from sickness, and guide, and He would question them on the last day. So to Allah he surrendered by a pure heart without pride. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, searched for truth and intelligently rejected the worship of the main idols one by one. Turning away from the stars, moon, and sun, he sought after their Creator, seeking the only true one. Once the pagans went to a festival, but Ibrahim, peace be upon him, declined the invitation and faked feeling sickly. He snuck into the temple and smashed all the idols, and fixing an axe on the biggest, he left very quickly. When the pagans returned, they grabbed Ibrahim, peace be upon him, roaring, "Did you kill our gods?" wanting all the facts. Amongst broken gods, ingeniously, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, replied, "Why don't you ask the big idol holding the axe?" They admitted their own ruin, but replied, "Idols can't speak." So he said, "Don't bow to what you make. Idols can't help or harm you. So use intelligence and worship Allah, your Creator, for goodness sake." They rallied around, saying, "Help the gods, collect wood, light a huge fire, and catapult the evildoer in." But even though his chains melted, Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was unhurt, as Allah made the fire cool and safe for him. The pagan losers plotted to kill him, and even lizards fanned the flames, but lost against Allah's plan. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was a friend of Allah, or Khalilullah, an upright Hanif, and a very pious Muslim man. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, had firm belief, but was told to raise 4 birds. When he asked how Allah raised the dead, he was told to kill and spread their mixed remains afar, then call them, each bird reassembled at its head. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was guided by Allah, who gave him revelations in the form of suhuf, or scriptures and scrolls, that were said to contain verses on purity of the fitrah, admonitions, and how to praise Allah and extol. Besides circumcision, the fitrah is to brush the teeth, rinse out nose, trim the moustache, and let the beard amass, remove underarm and private hair, clip nails, wash finger joints, and clean with water when stool or urine you pass. King Nimrod boasted that, like Allah, he also gave life and death, and killed a slave, so Ibrahim, peace be upon him, posed a test. He confounded arrogant Nimrod by saying, "Allah raises the sun from the east, can you raise it from the west?" Ibrahim, peace be upon him, gently advised his father to stop his satanic polytheism, as idols couldn't see or hear. Azar told him not to dishonor his father or disobey him, or he would stone him to increase his fear. Azar shouted an ultimatum, saying, "Worship your father's gods." But Ibrahim, peace be upon him, didn't sway, saying he would continue to pray for his father. He said peace, and in sadness he went away. Azar or Terah will meet his son on the last day, saying, "I will not disobey you now," begging with a disheveled face. But Ibrahim, peace be upon him, will disassociate from his shirk and see him turn into a bloody hyena dragged to hell in disgrace. After Ibrahim, peace be upon him, left Babylon, Nimrod grew haughty and built Babel Tower, but his army was killed by mosquitoes. He killed himself by smashing a hammer on his head to get relief after one buzzed into his brain through his nose. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, traveled with his wife Sarah, peace be upon her, and his nephew Lot, or Lut, peace be upon him, towards Syria and Haran. At one point, Lut, peace be upon him, was kidnapped by brigands, so Ibrahim, peace be upon him, led an army to rescue him from harm. On passing through Egypt, a tyrant king fancied Sarah, so Ibrahim, peace be upon him, said she was his sister, for safety's sake. But on touching her, he was paralyzed, and told them to leave swiftly with gifts and a slave girl, Hajar, to also take. Hajar, peace be upon her, became a co-wife to Ibrahim, peace be upon him, at a ripe old age. Allah blessed him with Ismail, peace be upon him, as his firstborn. But Ibrahim, peace be upon him, had to move mother and baby to Bakkah, as Allah willed, and not only due to interwifely scorn. When provisions ran out, Hajar, peace be upon her, ran in panic between Safa and Marwa hills, as her thirsty baby wouldn't hush, until Allah sent an angel and gave them Zamzam water, and they were saved and drank as the well began to gush. A community grew around the area, and Ibrahim, peace be upon him, often visited Hajar and his son, peace be upon them, in the desert area of Bakkah. Allah instructed Ibrahim, peace be upon him, to build the Kaaba with Ismail, peace be upon him, Allah's house for pilgrimage or Hajj in Mecca. In answer to Prophet Ibrahim's, peace be upon him's, invocation, Allah blessed the area around the world's first masjid with peace. Even Angel Gabriel brought a heavenly stone, blackened over time due to mankind's sins, to fit as a corner piece. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, told his young son that he had a dream in which Allah said Ismail, peace be upon him, had to be sacrificially killed. Ismail, peace be upon him, was an obedient, loving son who said he would be patient so that Allah's orders could be fulfilled. They went into the hills of Mina, and together, father and son, set up the sacrificial altar, as Satan scoffed away. 3 times Ibrahim, peace be upon him, threw stones at the accursed devil, and with immense bravery obeyed Allah that day. With the blade on his son's neck, Allah told tearful Ibrahim, peace be upon him, that he had carried out his vision. Looking down, he saw a horned ram in Ismail's place, ecstatically thrilled by Allah's decision. Muslims commemorate that momentous test of faith on Eid al-Adha, or the festival of sacrifice, by slaughtering an animal and sharing its meat, recalling when Ibrahim, peace be upon him, paid the ultimate price. If they can afford it, Muslims should perform a pilgrimage or Hajj to Mecca, copying the acts in Ibrahim's, peace be upon him's, life. They go around the Kaaba, drink Zamzam, run between Safa and Marwa, stone the devil, and make a sacrifice. When Muhammad, peace be upon him, saw the Baytul Ma'mur, or elevated prayer house, against it Ibrahim, peace be upon him, did rest, saying he'll be the first to be clothed in heaven, and called him Khairul Bariyah, or of creatures, the best. The Prophet, peace be upon him, also saw Ibrahim, peace be upon him, minding the souls of children who died in infancy in heaven's gardens at play. It's comforting to know that Abrahim means father of mercy, and until resurrection near his bosom they stay. Once 3 visitors called and were served a roasted calf, as Ibrahim, peace be upon him, was renowned for hospitality in truth. He feared them when they didn't eat from the dish, but relaxed on finding out they were going to see Lut, peace be upon him. Angels on their way to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah visited Ibrahim, peace be upon him, with news that gave Sarah, peace be upon her, laughter. Being nearly 100, they would have baby Isaac or Ishaq, peace be upon him, and Jacob or Yaqub, peace be upon him, as a grandchild thereafter. Because Ibrahim, peace be upon him, requested Allah to purify and bless Makkah, was the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sent. Just as Ibrahim, peace be upon him, destroyed Babylonian idols, Muhammad, peace be upon him, purified the Kaaba to the pagans' lament. Among the idols removed from the Kaaba were statues of Ibrahim and Ismail, peace be upon them, holding gambling arrow runes. For besmirching Ibrahim's, peace be upon him's, honorable character, the Prophet, peace be upon him, invoked Allah's curse on the idolatrous buffoons. Ibrahim, peace be upon him, prayed for a pious family, and from his progeny did all the prophets, including Muhammad, peace be upon him, come, just as he had prayed for. Muslims bless Ibrahim, peace be upon him, and his family every day. In the 5 daily prayers it's done. Not only did Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, look like Ibrahim, peace be upon him, but without doubt Khalilullah's way he, peace be upon him, perfected. Islam follows Ibrahim, peace be upon him, labeled a one-man ummah or nation, a patriarch who found God after he reflected.